Cold open question of the week, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather live in a nicer house or a not such nice house, but in a nicer neighborhood?
I mean, is that nice house in a really bad neighborhood or?
Let's say it's the nicest house in a okay neighborhood. Or you could have one of the worst houses in a nice neighborhood.
In a super nice neighborhood. Well, I mean, man, that's hard. Because I mean, if it's a no, these houses are a pain in the butt to maintain. So I would probably take the really nice house, hope that it's in good condition, and I don't have to worry about anything for years to come. I could deal with the mediocre neighborhood. I don't talk to anybody anyway, so I'm going nice house, mediocre neighborhood.
I would go with the nicer house too, because especially as you get older, you spend a lot more time at home, or at least you try to.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you've been in that house for 20 years.
Yeah.
So usually that 20-year period is like when the sort of like the roof and stuff starts.
I mean, we've already put a new roof on. We've already
You had the air conditioning incident.
new water heater, 2 air conditionings now. Well, 2.5, I guess you could say, because we had the condenser changed out 3 times already. Yeah, bathrooms redone. I mean, it's becoming a real, it's becoming a pain. And I just said this to her the other day. I'm getting like that itch to move on. To been here for quite some time. I think it's time to hit the trail and find something new.
Move on like a new home or move on a new
state? Oh, I'm
city?
thinking everything. New state, new everything. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I can't, it's not like I don't know, like friends wouldn't visit or, we wouldn't still be talking to people. But I mean, I'm not in the market to be having to get new friends and anything. So I think that's the reason why I've been sticking around here a little bit longer than I planned. But I don't know. I'm getting fed up with everything already now. It's time to mosey. Time to hit the trail.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Maybe some breaking news. All right, let's start the show. Mosey on with our show. Welcome into another exciting episode of The Brian Lennon Show. I am your host, Brian Lennon. As always, joined by my co-host, the Sky Puppy himself, Mr. Gary McDaniel.
Hello.
Gary, once again, we are wearing the same color shirt. I know there's a theory that women who live together will start cycling.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we host a weekly podcast. I believe we may be cycling in some form or extent as well.
When your camera popped up and I'm like, oh man, we're color coordinated again. So, hey, that's fine. Whatever.
Now again, I am in a hoodie, Gary, because we've had some wild Northeast Pennsylvania weather.
I've heard, yeah.
Saturday, I was up at Cub Scout camp. It was in the 70s. I got a sunburn.
Yeah.
The next day on Sunday, it was in the 40s as the high, and it was literally snowing at certain points of the day. And so,
oh man, yeah,
April in Northeast PA will do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
So it's interesting you mentioned moving on, because I lived sort of a nomadic childhood.
You did, yes.
Moving back and forth a lot until we moved into here in 2005, and
so you've been in there quite some time, yeah.
ever since. So I've been here 20. It'll be 21 years this year, and I don't know. It's interesting because I guess 50 is probably hitting me much harder than 40 ever did, or even 30, because I'll be turning 50 in
Yeah,
a month. And I guess I'm
yeah.
starting to think about death or the end of times here, because you realize, by the time you're 75, which is only another like 25 years, if you make it to
Mhm.
75, you're pretty much like probably not going to be doing much more.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm just starting to think, and again, I go to a lot of estate sales, and you think, God, this is somebody's stuff, and they just,
Yeah.
at
Mhm.
the end of the day, your family just has to get rid of it.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering, like, what will they find of mine that like they're like, well, they'll be like, some note I've taken, and be like, what the hell is this? What was he writing about, or what was he doing? And so,
200 typewriters.
yeah, why was he
You're like, "Oh,
collecting
what
typewriters?
a hoarder?"
What was all this about? So,
Oh, man.
all
Yeah.
right, well, we've
Yeah, it's interesting.
now, if
Grabbing
you
the
had to move, how now I know you've had issues with your garage, but if you had to pack up the whole house, what sort of chore would that be for you guys?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that today, when Shannon was on the phone with, someone that she works with, and she's packing up, and I guess she's moving to another house, and I was sitting here, and that's when I was like, "Man, we have so much crap." I'm like, I don't even know if I'd want to like, at this point, I'm like, it would be, God, can I win a ton of money and just buy a already furnished house and just leave everything here and just, like, rent it out? And that way I don't have to worry about moving anything, but I'm like, "Oh, I don't," I'm like, I just that's the part I dread. It's always fun when you're out hunting and looking for a and, like, you're searching and you're looking at all these houses and you're like, "Oh, man, what can I do with this room? And this would be great. Oh, look at this yard," and all this stuff. And then you have that you purchase it, you're all excited about it, and then it's that whole, yeah, having to pack up everything and then unpack everything. That's the part that I dread the most in everything. So, um, I talk a lot. I mean, I talk a lot about it, but it probably will never happen, only because I just don't feel like packing everything and moving stuff from this freaking house.
Leave that to Colin.
I might have to.
All right, we have a lot to go through tonight and unpack. Speaking of unpacking,
Mhm.
Gary, you had your colonoscopy this past week,
I did.
and for anyone over the age of 40, really, it is highly
Mhm.
recommended by medical professionals. We are not giving you any medical advice if you're listening
Yeah.
to this, but I have had two colonoscopies because my sister had colon cancer. So my
Mhm.
doctor said, I will walk you to the doctors to have it
Yes.
done if I have to.
Mhm.
Um, tell us sort of an overall experience for you for your first colonoscopy.
So, the prep part wasn't as bad as, like, how, like, whenever like, people talk about that part. For me, I don't know. I guess I'm just a person who just kind of goes regularly anyway. So for me, it just, I mean, it was a little different, but I didn't feel like I went as much as like everyone talks about. So, like, I mean, there was hours where I was just sitting doing, like, in, like, no, I mean, I had the gurgly, but nothing was like, oh God, I have to, run. But I mean, a few times here and there, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then the actual procedure itself was, because, like, I get there in the morning, and they get me in there, they put me in the bed, and they set up the IV and all that stuff, and then they finally wheel me into the room, and uh they're like, "Oh, get on your side, put one leg up, put your one leg straight." And I'm laying there, and I don't know if it was because it was, it was 10:30 in the morning anyway, but I was up late, and besides that, and I'm just sitting there, and my eyes were drooping and drooping, and then, like, I close it, and I'm like, "No, I wait. I don't want them to think I actually fell asleep, or they think that they already gave me the stuff, and all of a sudden they're shoving something up there." So I was like trying to hold my eyes open, and then finally the anesthesiologist came in, and she's like, oh, da, da, da. She was doing this, and then that was it. Then I remember the guy, um, all right, well, when you get up to get dressed, just get on the bed, just get up slowly. And I was like, oh shit, I'm done already. I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right, that felt
Have,
quick.
have you ever been under anesthesia before?
I have years ago which is weird because I've had a few teeth pulled, and only one time they put me completely under for it. All the rest has always been like that twilight. So
Mm.
you're still a little awake, but I mean, you don't really feel anything, but you could sense everything that's going on. But no, this was only the second time I've ever. But yeah, I was like, oh crap. I'm like, all right, and then that was it. So I mean, it was nice. It was a good little nap. I know you were talking about the passing of some guy, and I don't like. They didn't make me do it before I left. They just had me sit there. I had my coffee and my two little granola bars they gave me, and and then that was it. Then the guy walked me out, and
So you didn't
it
have like
was
a big long fart or anything.
no, unless I mean I may have, but I just don't remember it. But
Maybe you woke
and
up
then it
afterwards.
wasn't until probably it had to have been around. We went out for our friend Paul's. His beer was released at one of the breweries that he uh, brewed beer at, and he had like a little. It was like a release party type thing for a few people, like few like of his friends and stuff like that. And that was at 6:30, and it was probably about 8:30 when I finally was like, oh, ooh, finally I got gas. Like it took forever for me to even after eating some stuff and everything. But yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. But yeah, I would like I said, the prep wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I mean, it did. Yeah, I mean, sucked eating broth and Jello for an entire day. But
Yeah, I think they've made it much better. I remember when my mother did it, probably in the mid 90s. She had to drink some sort of like white chalky drink
yeah, hmm
that literally, in addition to like making her have to go, it made her also like sick, like she was vomiting as well.
oh
It
okay,
was coming out both ends. And I remember that and thinking, ooh, I don't know if I want to do that. But then they were like, no, this is Gatorade and it's much easier to digest. And so the
yeah,
two
because
I've had,
I
I've
think that was the
enjoyed.
reason why I think that's the reason why I always put it off too, because I've always heard, yeah, it was this weird stuff you had to drink, and then it just make you go and everything. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be doing that stuff. And then like Shannon did it a couple years ago. I was supposed to do it that same time. Well, I think it was like 2 years ago. I was supposed to do it too, but I kind of kept past putting it off and stuff like that. And then when I see when she was doing it, and when I was putting the stuff in, she goes, "Oh no, you're only going to taste the Gatorade. You're not going to taste anything else." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then yeah, that was it. I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "All right." I found I got really gassy, like burping wise, but that was like, and then I mean the other stuff was still there too, but I'm like, I was belching a lot, and I'm like, man, it's coming out the wrong end. I'm like, is this supposed to be going out the other one? I'm like, why am I like burping so much? But I mean, they did find two little polyps, so they had to take those out, and now I have to go back every 5 years. So, oh, and I guess I have some internal hemorrhoids too, I guess, but nothing, nothing major. So, yay. But yeah, no, that's a
Yeah.
5 year thing, I
I
guess.
appreciate you talking about it too, because I just think it to normalize it, especially for men and
Mm-hmm.
people our age, because we're entering that age where we should be
Yeah.
getting this stuff taken care of so it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't turn into something catastrophic.
Exactly.
I'm glad everything went well and
Yes, it did. It was fantastic. It was a good little nap. That's what I kept saying. It was a
yeah.
nice little nap during the day. So.
All right. Still more to get to. Just want to remind people to subscribe to the Brian Lennon Show.substack.com. Check us out on our
Mhm.
YouTube page. I've continued to post them every week.
Every week.
I'm patting myself on the back. So yeah, check us out. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page. When I'm heading to Florida in 2 months, we may have
Uh-huh.
some video to throw up on there.
Yeah.
Check that out. And still lots to get to here on tonight's show. Gary, we last week we had our crew on for the Mania preview.
That's correct. Yes.
My cousin Sean Lennon and my son Joseph and yourself and our podcast partner John Cremella from Tailgater Setup podcast. Did you get a chance to see any of the? Were you watching it live, or did you just catch clips on X?
I caught clips on X and all of the text messages that you and John were sending back and forth. So that was and then I would just, whenever you guys said something, I would log in and just went to like a news site for WrestleMania, for like live updates for WrestleMania. So no, I didn't get to watch any of it. We were out and about on Saturday, and then Sunday we were just kind of sitting around, and I actually ended up forgetting about it a little bit. But I mean, I was right on a few of my my picks there. I was I had my Obi and Liv and all
Obi
that.
won.
So, yeah, Obi won.
So the matches, I guess, the internet wrestling community, as they're known, was not very happy with night one on Saturday.
Yeah, it sounded like you guys didn't care for night one either.
Yeah, the matches were very short. They were about 7 or 8 minutes, which for WrestleMania, you would.
So at least one or two that usually drag out a good period.
So. Yeah, there was one that was the Seth and Gunther one was about 15 minutes, and then the main event was, I think, 22 minutes between Cody and Randy. The second night was a little bit better. Again, it started with the shocking win, if you want to say that, of Obafemi defeating Brock Lesnar, who basically, for all intents and purposes, retired
right there,
in the middle of the ring, which may have been a surprise to everyone in the building other than himself.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. The main event between Roman Reigns and CM Punk was okay, I thought. I don't think it was great, but it was just an okay show. Both nights I think were okay. I think they really topped out at WrestleMania 40. The one or was it 41? The one in Philadelphia.
Okay,
might have been 41.
I think it was last. Yeah, wasn't that? Yeah, I think it was last year's.
Or no, 40. It was 40 then, because last year was in Vegas at 41.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So WrestleMania 40, I think, was it'll be hard to top that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I could see where they were going with like the 2-night thing. Make a little bit more money. Break it up a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like the match, like even the matches they had, like total seemed like that's what an old WrestleMania used to be. Would be a whole bunch of just matches, and you would just go right through. So like to me, it's like it's not like I don't feel like they added any more matches having it 2 nights. They've just and I'm surprised that they went so fast.
There was a point where there were too many matches for one night, but there was the stories to put them in.
Yes.
Yeah. And now they have 2 nights, but not enough stories to like really fulfill it.
They're just throwing stuff.
And even when they do, they don't use the time wisely. Like they're just flying through.
Oh yeah, it's not like in the day where like an entire year could be, you're got DX fighting someone else or whatever, and it lasts the entire time up until WrestleMania, and it was always great watching that stuff, the whole back and forth thing. Now it's 2-3 months worth of, whatever, and then they throw a match together, and then it just ends from there. Like nothing else happens after that. I mean, you think about like the whole Cody and Roman thing for the longest time, going back and forth, and then Cody wins it, and then all of a sudden, like, there's just nothing else to it. No more rematch.
Yeah.
Roman goes his own way. Cody then starts something, and I'm like, man, at least for a couple months after, you still kind of had that little back and forth thing until something else panned out. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
So with Mania now in the background, rearview window, we have the NFL draft is this Thursday. It'll
Yeah.
be emanating from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there's some
I thought it was
other
in. I thought it was in. I thought it was at the Giant Stadium.
no,
It's in Pittsburgh.
it's in Pittsburgh this year.
Oh, okay. That's what it, I was. I thought they were putting it out in Giant Stadium, but it must have been outside of Pittsburgh Stadium. They were setting up
Yeah.
stuff for it. Okay, my bad.
The big news is the number one draft pick, Fernando Mendoza, will not be there
Oh
when they call
wow.
his name. He is staying home.
Huh.
I saw a report today that says he's staying home because of his mother, who has some illness and
Yes,
probably immunocompromised. So to keep her safe, he's staying home and
yeah, it
celebrating
makes
with his
sense.
family.
I mean, yeah, that I could live with that. You know,
Yeah, it
it's not.
definitely makes sense. I think it's the NFL is probably not thrilled about that
Yeah,
because this is sort of a show, and it's the first season of the new or the first show of the new season with the
yeah.
new star, and he's not going to be there.
And it's and yeah, and as he's most likely the first pick, so that's like a big deal right there. So, but I mean, but you gotta look, yeah, you gotta take it at that. Like he's not gonna. Hey, I'm not going out to Pittsburgh to just stand up there, shake and hug the commissioner, take some photos, and then that's it. When my mother can't be there. And
Right,
you heard his speech when he won his Heisman Award. I mean, his mother is everything. So I mean,
right.
for him to be like, no, you know, I'm gonna spend if I get picked number one, I'm gonna spend it here at home with my mother and my family and all that stuff. So I give him props for that.
Yeah, good for him. Um, Now, the Giants, um, who's a team I kind of used to follow, and I'm kind of following them again because Bernie's been
Yeah.
following them. They made a trade with the Cincinnati Bengals. They traded their defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence for the number
Mm-hmm.
10 pick in this
Amen.
year's draft. So they will now have the 5th and the 10th pick in the draft on Thursday night. So it gets a lot more intriguing for me as sort of a Giants fan to watch that first round.
Yeah. So my little club that I found last year that we go to for the New England Patriots fan
Oh,
club over in Tampa. They were trying to figure out, they were going to do a draft party at Sunset Rodeo that we've been watching our games at, and you just kind of put like a feeler out there, like, oh, who would be interested in coming Thursday, or would you rather come like for the weekend? So I guess they're having something, but like no, I mean I don't know. It's different now because Belichick's not there. I would have said no to a Thursday draft because I know there wouldn't be a New England pick because he would have traded it away for 14 sixth and seventh round picks. So, but I feel like Vrabel will end up using it because he did use his pick last year. So I mean, the last couple of years they've been actually using their first round picks, but I'm still not. I mean it's a late pick. It would be a late night. I'm like, I'm not gonna go over there and just watch. But they are doing something pretty cool. Is they want you to bring your mock draft of the whole first round, and whoever I guess has the closest will win like it's a New England gift card, so like you buy merchandise, and then you're getting also a VIP table with bottle service at Sunset Rodeo for one of the nights if you want to go. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I mean, it's something to keep in mind when you're like, oh, I'm going out and watching the draft. But yeah, no, I'm not, I'm like I don't think I'm gonna make it out there that night. And so
well, it's interesting you bring up the Patriots, Gary, because the Patriots have been in the news. Now we didn't get to discuss this last week because we were focused on the WrestleMania of it all.
yeah, uh-huh.
But there's been sort of a Coldplay esque
Uh,
moment for the New England Patriots between their head coach Mike Vrabel and the now former athletic reporter Dianna Russini. They were captured in still photographs holding hands. I
mhm.
also believe they were caught with Rossini's arms around Vrabel. And then in a hot tub, like sitting in the water together.
Was that?
Now,
Oh,
this
I thought they were like lounging on.
kind of like lounging in the
Yeah,
chair,
like on
yeah,
something. Yeah,
steps or something.
gotcha.
Now these photos were taken at a adults only resort.
Yeah.
Um, Russini came out and said that she was there with her girls, her girlfriends, and I guess just happened to meet Vrabel, who was there for whatever reason by himself, or maybe with other friends of his.
Yeah. You run into someone you hang out. They were shaking hands, but
Vrabel,
people said, them
Vrabel
holding.
called the idea that they were there together laughable. Um, Rossini ended up resigning from her job at the Athletic.
Mhm.
Mike Vrabel actually made a statement today saying that he did some, he had tough conversations with his family, the players, the coaches, the organization, um, about these pictures.
Yeah.
As a Patriots fan, Gary, what's your take on this?
They took it all out of, I mean, if I go to a resort, with my friend and, run into someone I know or there's other females and we're just hanging out talk. I mean, come on. You took a picture. Were they holding hands or were they shaking hands? Because I mean, he
Well,
knows her.
most people
So
will
like,
shake a hand, Gary, with one. They usually don't like hold hands like
well, I mean, they could have been praying. There's some people that, Vrabel looks like he could be a little bit American Indian. Maybe there's some sort of, she looked like it too, maybe a little bit. And so something like that. Then, the hugging part, well, they were giving themselves a hug. Hey, I give girlfriend or ladies I know hugs sometimes, when I'm leaving somewhere. And then we have people over for the pool, or I go to other places with people's pool. I sit there with female friends and talk to them and stuff like that. So I mean, unless they have photos of them humping,
that.
I'll go with Mike saying nothing happened.
That was part of it because I have female friends who I've known for years that
Yeah,
when I do see them, I will embrace them.
yeah. You give them a hug, give them some give look.
Most of them, though, it'll be like
I,
the over the shoulder, under the arm hug.
okay, yeah, yeah, okay.
Not many of them will greet me, hugging me around the waist, looking up at me. Don't think.
Uh, um,
It would be very odd for us to like hold two hands together too, especially if we were at like a adults only resort and
well, I mean,
my
you
wife
know,
wasn't there.
sometimes when you're sitting there talking to someone and like maybe it was a deep conversation, maybe something happened, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me hold your hands, and then you just kind of just oh, and then oh, give you a hug, but you just don't know, you know. I mean, it's the Patriots. People just love to they made it to the Super Bowl last year. No, they didn't win it. If they won it, it would have been worse.
Oof.
But because they made it there and they weren't supposed to, all of a sudden now they got to find something.
Oh,
It's like
now
poor
I've heard
like poor
also that
Bob and getting his massage, but yet no, it's got to be something else.
now I heard also Robert Kraft may have been in touch with the New York Times, who owns the Athletic, uh, as far as like not publishing the pictures that they were
Yeah.
trying to sort of squash this.
Well, because the people are going to publish them in a different way. They're going to just get the ones that they want out there. There's a lot of photoshopping anymore. A lot of AI stuff you can do. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
it's like I
Now
mean,
the other part of this was the shots of Rossini and Vrabel. They do look like they were taken. Now, I've never hired a private investigator, nor am I a private investigator.
mhm.
But these pictures do, based on what I've seen in films, um, which Gary, you and I have watched on a number of occasions. I believe the film is called Body Shot.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
And I believe one of the characters is a private eye.
Yep.
And the pictures of Rossini and Vrabel at this adult only resort are very similar to pictures this character took of his subject as a
Uh,
private eye, like
mhm. Mhm.
through the bushes from a distance.
Yeah. hiding like a snake, taking pictures of
I
people in their
like a
privacy.
snake.
It's yeah. I mean, I know I know people are looking for their paydays and things like that. And tell you the truth, the guy could have been there for someone completely different and happened to just see Vrabel talking to this late and be like, oh wait, I got to get these photos and make a little extra cash on the side. So I mean, and then like I said, so you, you don't know, you don't know. I mean, unless you're there, or unless one of her friends or one of his friends comes out and says it's
Well, none of
uh,
her girls that was on this trip with her have come public,
exactly.
which that is part of, I think, the issue that was facing Rossini is she had no witnesses to say that, yes, we were there with Dianna Rossini. Quick quiz question here for you, Gary.
Mhm. Sure.
Dianna Rossini's husband, do you know where he went to school?
Um, I'm going to say Ohio State.
You'd be wrong.
Okay.
He went to Penn State,
I was going to say that. Damn
which
it.
again comes back to this, Ohio State, Penn State rivalry.
Rivalry. Yeah.
Maybe she's just found herself in the middle of that.
Maybe she could just be, maybe she was just tired of nuts. Or, I mean, tired of lions and
Hmm.
wanted a nut. So,
Um, do you think this has any impact on Vrabel, the Patriots, and this upcoming season, or no?
no. What does it have to do with football? Uh, Listen, if he's having problems with his marriage and she's having a problem with her marriage and the two of them got together allegedly, whatever. What I mean, that has nothing to do with uh your football team. I mean, look at our football team. Come on now. Our fearless owner, enjoys a good massage once in a while,
Hand
by a
job, Bob.
professional. So, and then, I mean, our ex coach decided he was going to date a child. So our quarterbacks have bounced around. Thank God Drake he seems like a nice, loyal kid. So hopefully everything works out for him. I mean, they've been together since I think high school. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, what is their personal life have to do with the football team? Absolutely
The,
nothing.
the interesting part for me, which I kind of buried the lead here, is for Mike Vrabel, it's a moral issue what he's doing or not doing. For Dianna Rossini, it is sort of a moral issue if she's married. But the big part to me was as a former journalist, the fact that she could possibly have this sort of relationship with someone who is a source potentially for stories that she's writing, or that this source could be using her to put information out into the public to maybe sway another team's decisions on player personnel and all that. And the biggest thing for me was there were so many journalists, or so-called journalists, I'll call them,
Mm-hmm.
who, when asked about this, sort of just, I'm going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the one lady who actually spoke up, who was a freelancer for the USA Today, she ended up getting fired
Mm-hmm.
because she spoke out about Dianna
Yeah.
Rossini and her reputation, I guess, among other football reporters. But that was sort of, to me, the thing that was troubling, again, as a former journalist, is that people who I respect or respected as journalists, people who've been trained
Uh-huh.
at some of the finest journalism schools in the country, including Northwestern and Syracuse, um, they sort of took a relative stance on Dianna Rossini's role in this, as not as a reporter, as a journalist.
So, I take that as we stand by our people. You know, police officers, you see it all the time. You know, I stand by this guy, even though he just beat up bunch of kids or something like that. They'll, or there'll be no comment. Some politicians do the same thing for their side. But so, I mean, to me, it's not. I mean, it's just and I mean, I'll now I'll say this. I'm not big on. Um, I know you like your journalism stuff, but I'm not big on it because I feel like sometimes it's just people out there trying to make stories. And I'll say this, that them not wanting to talk about it is kind of weird to me. Thinking, hey, this is a big story. This is
Right.
something that I would want to, something I would want to do it. But I guess because she is one of them, it's one of those things where I don't want to talk about one of my people. So I don't know. It's
Yeah, the fact that this wasn't the lead story on ESPN's Get Up with Mike Greenberg, like all week,
Mm.
was shocking. It's an NFL story. It's one of the top known franchises, not just in the league, but the world.
but is it an NFL story or is it a story of two people that work one that works for the NFL and one that works for journalism? But NFL's not going on right now. It's not in the middle of the season. It's not
Right, but
anything of that sort. But
isn't that the point of journalists is to explore this? What if Dianna Russini is putting information out about who's it, AJ Brown, the Eagles receiver,
mhm.
that he's unhappy in Philadelphia?
Oh well, they've talked about that multiple times. I hear it all the time.
Where's he going? Oh, New England's interested in him. So now
Well,
she's
most
putting that
likely.
out in the media. So now the Eagles think, well, hey, maybe we could trade him to New England.
Oh no, they've been talking about that even before all this came out
But
with him and
but
that.
what I'm saying, she also voted for him for Coach of the Year. Does he get does he get a bonus if he wins Coach of the Year in his contract? What about Drake May for MVP? Did she vote for him as MVP?
That's
Does
one.
Drake May have a
It's not like he's banging every freaking reporter out there. It's one report. What's that one reporter going to do? Like she's not
but
swaying other.
the point is when I was trained as a journalist, your integrity was the most important thing you could have. And you were taught how to deal with sources. You don't take gifts from sources. You don't go on vacations to romantic locations with sources.
And I
And
totally
they
agree.
must not be teaching that in the last 25
But
years
what
since I've been
happens
out of
when you?
school.
I mean, what happens if I mean, so if you're anyone that's in journalism, there's no so there's a rule out there that you can't date anyone that's in the athletic field, and that's where you work, and you see these people all the time, and maybe something happens and there's a little spark. You got to say no, I can't. I'm a journalist.
I think it would depend on the relationship and where you're covering. Like, if I was covering Penn State football and I meet, the manager of the women's volleyball team and we started a relationship, I'm not necessarily reporting on the volleyball team because I cover football.
Okay.
You see?
So I
But
guess I
if
just
I'm covering the NFL and I'm having an affair with the coach of the New England Patriots, possibly, that to me is a conflict of interest.
so my I mean, I guess depends on where you're working. So like I had no idea who she was. I couldn't. I mean, maybe if I paid more attention to people that do journalism and stuff like that, I would maybe know. But I had no idea who she was. I don't even know the where she worked. I've never even heard of that. So to me, I don't. It doesn't bother. And I'm a New England. Yes, I'm a New England guy. So I will stick with him no matter what. But even if it was someone else, I probably would. I'd be the same way because I'm like I don't know who she is. She's not affecting my. I mean, maybe Yeah, maybe she's throwing articles out there, but I mean, who's reading this stuff? I mean, I don't read any of that stuff. And you look at a lot of these fans out there. I'm sure they're not reading a whole lot of stuff either. So to
Well,
me, it's
that's part of journalism's problem is no one is reading newspapers or websites anymore.
we're
But
gonna
you
worry
should be
about
reading
we're gonna
the
worry
Brian
about
Lennon
some
Show.substack.com.
we're gonna worry about two people that are in having a little tryst of some sort that has nothing to really do with anything. It's not affecting anything. It's not affecting my life. It's not affecting my football life. You know what I'm curious on is where's these Epstein files? Where are those? All of a sudden now we're not talking about that stuff because all we care about is Mike Vrabel having a
Well,
tryst with some journalist somewhere.
maybe we're too busy with the Swalwell files.
With the war and everything else that is going on, but we're gonna worry about Mike Vrabel and some other chick.
All right, Gary, I wanted to talk a little bit about tailgating since we're on the NFL.
We are all patriots.
Um,
Yes, go ahead. What do you got?
so I was listening to a radio program this past week, and they were talking about FIFA, which is the
Mm-hmm.
soccer's world governing body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there was, I guess, some rumors going on that tailgating was not going to be allowed in the parking lots of the stadiums for these games.
Oh goodness.
And apparently, tailgating is an American phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
They do not tailgate in Europe.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
And so they played a clip of this reporter I think he was in England. And he was like trying to explain to his like co-hosts on the show what us Americans do
Mm-hmm.
hours before the games in the parking lot. And I thought that was kind of odd and strange. But I think because I would understand like English soccer would have to have maybe they are in the pub, which is down the street around the
And
corner.
that's what I was just about to say is so when I was over in London, we were actually right by uh, Wembley Stadium. So like our hotel, like where our hotel was, you could see Wembley Stadium sitting right there. And when I was reading this about I was like I'm like yeah that's because they're already three sheets to the wind before they even get in because of all of the pubs that's American stadiums. If you look at a good majority of our American stadiums, there's nothing. It's
There's
parking
nothing
lots
around.
around them, and that's basically it. I mean, there are the Rays Stadium. There are a few bars right around the stadium that people kind of congregate to first before they go, but it's very like majority of these places. There's nothing like I think about the Buck Stadium. There's not like there's a few bars, but they're maybe a couple miles up the road. So, but you go to a like English soccer stadium and you look around, it's the soccer stadium, some parking, and then just pubs everywhere. So yeah, they're all in there tailgating. That's their tailgate is the pub, and then they go walking into the stadium. So I always see like they always look like they're always all so rowdy. You're thinking like, man, they don't tailgate. How the heck are they so
Yeah,
hammering up already when they're? I mean,
they're
man, they must be really
tailgating.
slamming down. But yeah, they are. They're just in the pubs doing it right before they go into the stadium. So, but it's funny because this past weekend on Saturday I was over in the Tampa area and completely forgot that this was going on. But the Premier League Live mornings, their broadcasting crew was in Tampa.
Oh.
Down it's called Armature Work, so it's an area that they it's a bunch of restaurants and bars stuff like that they built right off on the waterway, and they were doing a big live broadcast show there over the weekend for a couple of the Premier League games that were going on. So they were out there doing that, and I mean, it was a giant crowd of people just there, wearing their Man U or their Chelsea jerseys for that game. I think that was going on. So, I mean, and a good majority of the people I heard, like on some of the things I seen on social media, there was some English sounding people there that were having a good time partying out there, even though they couldn't be at the game because they were over here in Tampa and not where the game was being played over in Europe. But yeah, I mean that explained like we are a, I mean we are a tailgating nation. I mean we will do it for anything. I was going to do it for high school baseball this year if I could have, but um,
Well, it's
yeah,
interesting to think about when you think, okay, people don't know what tailgating is, and then to imagine them seeing, fans in Buffalo lighting tables on fire
oh yeah,
and then jumping through them.
yeah. There's some people that go overboard with their
Y-
tailgating, but yeah,
People in Green Bay wearing blocks of cheese on their head.
in your head,
Like,
in 30 below weather, just standing out there drinking a beer. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
so
Oh yeah, no, it's we are a strange nation of people. I mean, we are we. I mean, we will party anywhere we can. We'll put it together anywhere. So yeah, so I can see where soccer is like, hey, we don't. This is not something that happens, on the other side of the pond. So we're not going to want to have it here, even though we know you guys enjoy it so much. But I mean, I don't know how they're going to really. I mean, are they going to really be able to police that? I mean, you could just sit in your car or pop open your tailgate and just sit on the back of your truck or something like that, having a few beverages before you go into the game, but just not get crazy with. Because I mean, I've been to some crazy tailgates where I mean, people like full screen TVs sitting out there, um, tents and I'm like, why even bother going into the game? Might as well just sit out here all the whole time and just watch everything. But yeah, some people get really really crazy.
all right, Gary, before we get to your news of the weird, as people who listen to the show know, we love a great conspiracy if we can get our hands on one.
Mm-hmm.
This past week, I read a book entitled Atmosphere. It's sort of like a chick lit book.
Mm.
The author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read a few of her other books. Probably her best known book is Daisy Jones and the Six, or The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The Daisy Jones, I have not read the book, but I've seen the miniseries that was on Netflix.
Mm.
But anyway, this book, Atmosphere, deals with the early NASA space shuttle program.
Mm-hmm.
And the story revolves around two female astronauts who fall in love and start a relationship. And again, this is in the early 80s before, you
Mm.
know, gay and lesbian relationships were, you know, prominent and accepted in the public. Do you so before we get to the other part of this sort of NASA and space story,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember like I didn't realize, I guess till today, like how brand new the space shuttle program was, like when we were kids. Do you remember space shuttle launches as a kid?
So I mean the only one I remember, which is the only one a lot of people our age remember, is Challenger. I don't remember ever like, and I think the only reason why was because there was a teacher going to space, so
Right.
that's why all the schools played it. But I remember sitting in school and like it was right when it was getting ready to launch, and
So
it
you
was
were
being played
watching.
on TV, and we were sitting there watching it live as it happened. And yeah, as a kid, you're sitting there and all of a sudden, and then like it just the because you never seen a space shuttle launch before, so you didn't. I'm like, okay, well, is that part of it? Is that whatever? You didn't really know until they started and then like I remember the teachers like hurrying up and like shutting the TV off because they knew what happened, and then having to try to explain it to everybody, what just occurred in front of our eyes. So, but other than that, that's really the only one I remember. I mean, even now living here in Florida, where what the new Artemis just went up and then came back, but supposedly you were able to see it from anywhere. Now, my son Colin, he said when they were at practice over at the field, they seen it like I mean, was a very blur, like, like it's not up close personal, but they were able to see like the smoke going all the way up and a little dot or whatever flying into the air. So, but no, that's really the only one I know. I remember is Challenger. I don't remember uh,
Now,
any other one in my life.
I think I have a faint memory of the first space shuttle launch, which I believe it was in 81, 80 or 81. And because I remember watching something to do with like the space shuttle on the
Mhm.
TV, like with my father. Like
So
he
you're
must have,
talking, yeah, you're talking not the rocket, you're talking the actual
like,
the shuttles that they
yes.
finally made. Yeah. Okay.
um, Again, it's just like sort of this like faint memory I have of watching that with
Mhm.
him. I want to even say it was like a Saturday morning that they launched it. I might have to go back and check that.
Yeah.
I remember the Challenger as well.
Mhm.
Now, I did not see it live because for whatever reason, I had been sent to the office, not for being in trouble, but just I was taking something to the office for my teacher.
Okay.
And then I was walking back through the hallway, and one of the other teachers came out and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going back to my classroom." She goes, "Get in here." And she like pulled me into the
Yeah.
classroom. And then that's when they were showing sort of like the replay of what had happened.
Mm.
I also remember going to my church, like with my sister, one of those nights afterward because they had like a prayer service for
Okay.
them. And I was like, because there were 7 astronauts, and I was like
Mhm.
chosen to represent the teacher during the prayer
Mm.
service. So I held a candle for her or something.
Yeah.
Now I also remember, which I just kind of researching the space shuttle program. I moved down to Florida
Mhm.
the first time back in June or early July, probably June of 1988. Now the Challenger happened in 86.
Mhm.
And I remember watching a space shuttle launch from my house near Orlando that summer. It ends up being it was in September, but that was the first space shuttle to launch since Challenger had exploded. And I remember seeing that and watching it happen. I want to say that was on a Saturday too, because that would probably be the only reason I was home. I remember watching it like go up.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then I also remember when I lived in Tampa, one of the mornings, the space shuttle must have been coming into land and the sonic boom because it scared the hell out of me.
So when you just said that, or when you were just talking about, and I was trying to think back, and I was saying about the now, like I said, never. I only remember the Challenger launch, but I do remember one of the sonic booms when I was living here. So it had to be after 2004. But I think it was coming in and then was landing in Houston, but it flew over Florida. And I remember that like sitting here and just this wicked rattle, like no, like sound. And everyone was like, "What the hell?" And people were like, "We're all running outside trying to look to see what was going on." I'm like, "What?" And then looked up the thing and was like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
shuttle was coming back in." So that must have been what blew over us. And I was like, I just remember that I felt like everything shook. Like I thought we were having like a little earthquake or something. But it was
Yeah.
yeah. I do recall that one now too.
Yeah. Because I remember laying in bed. It was, might have been a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I just remember like the house shaking, like, and
Huh. Yeah.
like, because I was probably 16, 17, and you jump up and you're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You jump right out of bed and like make sure everything is okay. All right. We have some more to discuss regarding the space shuttle and propulsion, Gary. I sent you some links and clips.
You did. I did see it on on my
So the crux of this is there's, I think, 11 scientists that have gone missing or have died
hmm,
in the last few years. And this was only brought to mainstream media's attention last week.
Nuclear and aerospace programs. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, could be a ruse. Could be. So I don't know if you ever watched. I think she was on Peacock or NBC, whatever, one of those shows, but called Paradise. And so basically, it's about um, there's going to be an apocalyptic event, but it's going to be it was the uh, volcano, a massive eruption. So what they did was they built a underground city inside a mountain. So they built this whole like city inside this mountain and underground a little bit, and they only took someone like the president went in and like a bunch of other people, but it was an entire city. Like if you they had like a big dome, so like there was like the light would look like the sun at night, and then during the day, and at night there would be stars. So that's the whole premise. But it was her getting like it was some of these rich people getting together with like this one guy to build her like an underground mountain city. So that's when you first sent that. That's all I could think of was like I'm like, are they taking these people to build something because they know something's coming? So now we're kind of they're looking into trying to make a Armageddon shelter. So that
Yeah,
was
so
what popped into my head. So
the House Oversight Chair James Comer has told Fox, quote, "There's a high possibility that something sinister is taking place here, and Congress is now viewing the mystery as a national security threat." So there's been 11 missing high-profile scientists and military officials connected to the U.S. nuclear and aerospace programs. And actually, most of these have been within the last 4 years. Looks like the earliest one on this map is from June of 2022.
Huh.
There was one in February of this year out in California, one in December of last year in Massachusetts. So
Interesting.
a bunch in New Mexico, Alabama, California, and
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
could be. I mean, so many things you could take out of this is yes, there's either some sort of mass destruction
It
pending.
it's
So
too
now,
many to be like a coincidence at this point, though.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. But it's now I could see like okay, because I didn't realize there was deceased, but I was just thinking now I'm like, well, that could be that they either you know decided they didn't want to do it anymore, and the government just kind of and then kind of threw them out there, and then that's when they swipe a new one to bring in to replace that same person. So it's either building underground city, or maybe there's some sort of ship that they're trying to build to I watch a lot of Armageddon type shows, so to me like seeing this is like, oh yeah, that's not good. When I mean, you know one or two missing, it could be like, okay, they just something, whatever, either maybe they owed taxes and they just disappeared or whatever, or this and that. But when you got that many kind of disappearing, and and then some coming up to see, now you have to question,
Yeah.
okay, what is happening and what's going on. And it's not, and it's yeah, it's different if it was like, okay, oh, there's 22 people missing, but and they're all from different, but they're all kind of from the same field, so that
And
makes
and
it
they're
even.
obviously, like, smart, educated people. They're neuro
Yeah,
or not neuroscientists, but they're astrophysicists and
yeah,
nuclear engineers. Like, these aren't people who typically get lost.
exactly. Yes. No. I mean, if you made it through that much schooling and you're able to build reactors and this and that, I mean, yeah, you're not.
Work on propulsion
Yeah,
systems,
you walk
like,
out of your house and drive down the street and forget where the hell you are, then yeah, then it's got to be something, a disease of some sort, but not, yeah, not just disappearing out of the blue like that. So I'm telling you, it's these dang shows.
All right. Well, Gary, it's now time to take a drink. I'm going to
Mhm.
remind people to subscribe to us here on Substack as well as YouTube. But now it is time for Gary's News of the Weird. And Gary's News of the Weird is brought to you by
Rap Brewing Company, located at 10930 Endeavor Way, Seminole, Florida. And this week, I'm assuming that little note you sent to me is what's going on this week.
That is correct.
So tomorrow, Wednesday, the 22nd, you can get Pizza Delight from 5 to 8. They will be there. Friday, April 24th is Salsa My Love from 5 to 9.
My love.
And then Saturday, April 25th is Taming Hogs Flaming Frill from 4 to 8.
Grill.
Grill. Okay. I thought it was going to be grill, but then I'm like, frill, it could be. You know, you never know. But
You
Flaming
enjoy a
Grill.
good frill every once in a while, don't you, Gary?
Yeah. Taming Hogs Flaming Grill. So I've never heard of that one. So
So that's a new one. I hadn't heard of that one either, so I was assuming it was a new one. So you'll
I
have to
may
check
have
it out.
to take a check on that one. I haven't had the other ones either. I haven't done the Pita Delight yet, which I heard was very good. And I
I
haven't
love a
done
good
that.
pita.
I love, but you know, so they were there, I think, a couple weeks ago, and I was looking at, I wasn't up there, but I seen it online. I was looking at some of their menu stuff. I was like, ooh, that actually sounds really good. So
Pitas are one of those things you can eat, and it doesn't make you feel bad that you ate it. At least
yeah,
that's how I feel.
they're weird because
It's like,
I mean
I
it's
did good today. I ate a pita.
yeah, it's like bread, like, but it's like a light. I don't know. It's you're right. It's weird. But we're gonna go a little bit more softer in our stories tonight. So mind if we drop in? Hot air balloon with 13 aboard makes emergency landing in California backyard. A balloon landed in Southern California backyard, a balloon with 13 people. The enormous hot air balloon with the pilot and passengers in the basket descended perfectly Saturday on a small plot of grass at a home in uh, Temecula. Hunter Perrin said he had no idea that he had visitors until a neighbor alerted him. I was watching TV and my wife was doing yoga. Uh, there was a man standing in front of my door saying, "They just landed." What? I was very confused. But there they were, a group of anxious people suddenly relieved to be on solid ground. Perrin's grassy backyard patch is only about 10 feet wide. It was, oh, get out of there. It was unbelievable, like something out of a Disney fairy tale. The balloon didn't hit our house or our trees. It was kissing the fence. Brianna Avolos and her husband were riding in the balloon to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary. She said the pilot informed passengers that he needed to make an emergency landing because of low fuel and a shift in winds. At first, I was like, oh my God, we're in a backyard. This is crazy. The blue balloon with gold stars and a crescent moon image was a spectacle as it came to rest in the backyard, towering over Perrin's house. The pilot disembarked the passengers, returned aloft, and then landed the balloon nearby in a street where it was dismantled. He was an amazing pilot, Avolo said. Denny Barrett, the owner of Magical Adventures, which provides the balloon rides, declined to identify the pilot, but said he had experienced great judgment and done the right thing. And I have some photos.
Now, Gary, while you show those us, show those us,
Show
show us
those up. Yeah.
those, rather. Have you ever been in a hot air balloon?
So no, I have not, and I don't know if I am.
Have you had the opportunity and you chickened out?
No, so
That's what it was sounding like.
So they have one over at Disney Springs that you can go up in. So like it goes up and down. That's it. Like, and that it's roped.
It's tethered.
But all I could think of was I'd get in there and there would be it would be one of those things where there's no one up there to control it, and it's not where
you have a problem.
Yeah, it's just one, and all of a sudden, all those tethers just break, and then the balloon just floats away, and then that's it. No, I don't know if I can. I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big heights guy. I'm not a
I'm not
fan.
either.
And then just to be in a little basket with something that you fire blowing up into a balloon, and then you just float. I don't know. That's just not for me. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
and then you think about it, and then you're like this one. Like I mean, that's a pretty big a basket for the thing. But I mean, you're in there with all those people. I'm like, oh, I'm like,
yeah.
that would freak me out too. Just thinking, I'm like, there's a lot of weight in this thing. I'm like, why is there so many people in this balloon? I don't know if I could do it, but no, I don't know if
I don't
I
think
would,
I would never fly in a balloon.
even if I had the opportunity. I don't. I think I would probably still pass.
I don't even like those the at Knoebels the balloon ride, like the fake balloon where you like go up and
Oh,
down. Like I
I don't.
can't even
I
do
don't
that
like.
anymore.
I don't like sky rides. I never liked sky rides either. They always freaked me out.
Yeah.
Um, my one and only time skiing, even the ski lift, I wasn't a big fan of that either. I don't like something where I'm like just a rope's holding me up and anything could happen. So
Now, does our next story also involve a balloon or parachute?
it does not.
Oh, before we move on, then,
Okay.
did you see the Virginia Tech spring football game where the parachutist landed into the scoreboard?
No, I did not.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No, I didn't see that one. Oh man.
Yeah, apparently he got a bad gust of wind and it knocked him off course. And so instead of landing like at the
On the
50-yard line,
yeah.
he hit the scoreboard and then he was hung up there by his parachute till he was eventually rescued. In
Wow.
an auspicious start to the James Franklin era
Oh
at,
yeah,
Blacksburg.
that's not good. And our final story of the evening is a California bear suit luxury car scam ends in insurance fraud, sentencing for three. Three people in California have been sentenced for insurance fraud in a bizarre scam that involves someone dressed in a bear costume damaging luxury cars. The California Insurance Department said the three used a person in a bear suit to stage fake attacks inside a Rolls Royce and two Mercedes in 2024, then submitted fraudulent claims seeking nearly $142,000 in payouts from insurance companies. The department called it Operation Bear Claw. Two Los Angeles area men and a woman pleaded no contest to felony insurance fraud and were sentenced to a weekend jail program followed by probation. The department's
Got some ambiance in the background there, Gary, with the sounds like you're in a cafe.
the department called it op. Oh, I already said that. Uh, Department said it in news release Thursday. Two of them were ordered to pay over 50,000 in restitution. A
There
fourth
you go.
person faces court hearings in September. The group is accused of providing several videos from the San Bernardino Mountains of a bear moving inside the vehicles to the insurance companies as part of their damage claims. Photos provided by the insurance department show that appeared to be scratches on the seats and doors. A California Department of Fish and Wildlife biologist reviewed the footage and concluded it was clearly a human in a bear suit. After executing a search warrant, detectives found the bear costume in the suspect's home, the department said. And I have a photo
Oh,
of the wonderful bear costume.
is it realistic looking?
So I'm hoping that
Oh,
that's just
Jesus.
like it's just folded down because it looks like it looks like a bear with a shirt on.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's not what they used. I think that's the only photo. There's nothing else there, but it looks like yeah, those must have been the things they were holding to make the claws look more realistic. But yeah, you got to be wow.
Well, as you know, Gary, or maybe you don't know this, there's a lot of fraud going on in California.
Oh, I'm
Not
sure.
not just with car insurance, hospices, voter rolls. You name it.
Everything.
There's fraud.
Oh, fraud everywhere. And that is news of the weird. Brought to you again by Rap Brewing Company, located at 10930 Endeavor Way, Seminole, Florida, 33777.
And thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Rap Brewing Company. If you visit Rap Brewing and you listen to our show, take a picture, tag us, on social media. Send us a picture of you at the bar, enjoying a brew, enjoying a pita.
Come find me. I'm usually there.
Yeah,
You'll see
look for Gary.
our banner on the wall. Look for the guy with the gray beard. Well, there's two guys with gray beards, but actually, right. Look for the guy with the glasses because I don't think you had glasses on in your photo. So,
no.
So
I don't wear glasses. Pod. Gary, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its newest members recently. They include 80s icons Phil Collins, Billy Joel, who I'm surprised wasn't in yet.
I know.
And Iron Maiden. But there are still a number of glaring omissions still not enshrined in Cleveland. This list is compiled by Matt Riegel and Austin Perry from Outkick. Here are some of the names, and I'm going to add one to it, Gary.
Okay.
Jimmy Buffett is not in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Yeah.
Ted Nugent, politics aside, probably belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pantera. Smashing Pumpkins.
Wow. Yeah.
Huh. This is another one that surprised me. Motley Crue is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Motorhead.
Yeah, that's another big one. Yep.
Which they're very influential. Gary, I think you had one of their CDs, Scorpions.
You're dang right I did.
What song do they sing? Down at Donny Park.
Yeah, it was just in my head too. I was just gonna say Dust in the Wind. I'm like, no,
Winds of Change.
Wind of Change. That's it. Yep.
All right. Ronnie James Dio is not in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's crazy.
Here's one that they're probably they're probably eligible for a few years now. Blink 182. It's not in.
They just kind of got back to. They just kind of started doing stuff.
They're back and forth.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy.
Yeah. Jeez.
Which the boys are back is like one of the top grocery store songs you hear.
Oh, heck yeah.
Come on. I mean, if you listen to a classic rock station, you hear that at least once a day.
Heck yeah.
And Gary, my beloved Stone Temple Pilots are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Wow.
They deserve to be in, don't you think?
That's yeah. I mean, put aside their, lead singer being what he was.
He had his issues like most of these other bands.
Almost all of them, yeah.
But their first four, their first three albums are classics.
Yeah. No, I believe they should be in.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't.
Is there anyone? Well, you might not know if they're in or not, but
yeah, no.
Anyone you would like to see, or who you think will definitely Mumford and Sons?
No, they still got time. That's my thing with. So I don't know how they
when you put them in, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they select. The way they do. It's not like where like the NFL is. You have to be out 5 years before you get in.
Right.
But like I said, there's been a few years where they've announced like some rock and roll, and you're like, how is it 2026 and they haven't been in the Hall of Fame yet? Like Phil Collins. I'm sure Genesis has already been in there, but him on his own, shoot, he had a ton of stuff out as a solo artist. Like I felt like he should have been. Iron Maiden, another group that probably should have been in there a long time ago.
Well, even Billy Joel, like Billy Joel was like the 70s and 80s. Even into the 90s, he had like hit record after hit record
Yeah.
after hit record.
But then, yeah, then you think about like then the list that you just said. I'm like Jimmy Buffett. I'm like, come on. I mean, I know his music was a little cheesy, but still, I mean, when you have an entire group of people calling themselves parrot heads and coming to your concerts and you're constantly selling out everything. I mean, there was times he used to come here to Tampa. If you weren't on the day they released tickets, you weren't getting a ticket. I mean,
Yeah.
those suckers sold out fast, and it's like Motley Crue is another one too. Ronnie James Dio. I mean, that's just crazy that these guys have not been. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, I guess I got to look up to see how they choose who they choose, but it's it's interesting how there's so many people that are still out there. I just when I was looking at this before, and I was looking at an article, and someone was talking about Mariah Carey, how like she's not in yet either. But I mean, at that point, I didn't really. That's Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other people that scream that.
Some of this music kind of you can blur the lines as whether it's rock and roll or but there's so many artists now in this rock and roll hall of fame. It's
Well,
not
that,
really
and
a
that
rock and roll hall of fame.
no, it's not. It's a music
It's a
hall of
music
fame,
hall.
really, because it's. I mean, yeah, because you think about like some of the. I mean, all the rappers that they've inducted in there already and stuff like that. So I mean, it's hard to say rock and roll. I mean, and you think, oh well, it's got to be only rock and roll, but it's a music hall of fame. So,
All right.
interesting.
Gary, our RIP, I don't think there was someone from Melrose Place who died this
Yes,
past week, but
I just
I saw a picture of him and I did not recognize him.
I do recognize him. He was on Melrose Place. He was also on Days of Our Lives.
And what's his name?
Oh, hold on, let me look it up because I just had it. Uh, isn't it? Oh, there it is. Patrick Muldoon. So yes, he was on. He was just 57. He was on
Yeah,
Melrose Place. I think he was on that. But what I read somewhere, he was out having coffee with his girlfriend or whatever.
is she a reporter?
I'm not sure. Went into the bathroom and I guess had a massive heart attack and died right there.
Wow.
So yeah, just passed away suddenly at 57. So he was
Did,
also on Starship Troopers. He was in that movie Starship Troopers. That's where I remember him actually more from because I didn't watch the other one.
I was going to ask you, did you watch Melrose Place?
So no, that was one I never watched. I never watched that one. 90210. Never watched any of those.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no. Now I will say I did. I have in my younger years. I used to watch some Days of Our Lives. So that was my mother's soap opera. So I kind of watched a lot of that. But no, none of the Melrose Place or the. I mean, I may have seen like an episode here and there, but I never wasn't like a. Oh, it's on Friday night or Thursday, whatever night it was on, and I have to sit home and watch it. So no,
Okay.
but yep, R.I.P.
And Gary, before we go, I found a Substack piece this week. It's called "Past Life, Present Cleavage,"
Oh,
and
okay.
the title of the article is "The Plague That Broke English," and then why the founding fathers didn't sound British. So the writer asks the question, "Did the founding fathers sound British?" And her answer is no.
Hmm.
And she kind of explores why they didn't, and it goes all the way back to like the 1300s and the Black Death, which was a
Mm.
plague that swept through
Mhm.
England. And what happened is when you lost a large portion of the population, probably at least half, all of these people from other parts of the world came sort of to England to
Repopulate.
repopulate,
Yeah.
and there was a need for people there. And so the English language sort of morphed And she says, we in America sound more like the founding fathers today than people in England sound like, King George
Yeah.
in the 1700s.
Oh,
She
interesting.
said the English language has sort of morphed more. I should say the English accent, I guess, has morphed more than the American accent from the founding fathers.
Hmm.
Now I'll have a link in the show notes so you can check it out, but it goes basically around the vowel sounds.
Yeah.
And one of the words is like night. We have the silent K,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
I guess back in the day it would have been pronounced knucked.
Connect.
Like you would have actually sounded it out.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a list. So if you have the words food, good, and blood, they all have the same vowels,
Mhm.
double O consonant, but they're all pronounced differently. And so she was saying back in the day, they would have all been pronounced the same. So food, good, blood.
Huh.
But over time that changed and
Yeah.
our tongue moved it. And she said that's also why it's very hard to write in English because of we used to speak the way the words were spelled,
Because you can't. Yes.
but the language changed and our vowels changed, and so now we have food, good, and blood.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting piece. So,
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I know we were talking a while back about the accents and
Yes. Uh-huh.
all of that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so when I saw this headline, I said, "Oh, this is interesting," and then it was very interesting to read. So,
Hmm. Yes. Interesting.
good.
Blood. Blood.
The other one is like President Theodore
Roosevelt.
Now, I
Roosevelt.
grew up saying Roosevelt, even though
Uh-huh.
it's that double O,
Yeah.
and Roosevelt Field on Long Island, it was always Roosevelt, but
Roosevelt.
at some point it was probably pronounced Roosevelt.
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 Huh.
So,
Interesting. I mean, when I do my news of the weird, majority of the time when I'm reading them, I'm usually just trying to sound out the word as it looks, and then it'll pop into my head. Oh, wait, that's not the way it goes. It's supposed to be said this way now, and
yeah,
not so. See, I'm old English when I'm reading.
you are your old English. All right. Well, Gary, that's going to do it for us tonight here. Thanks for listening. I am your host, Brian Lennon, as always. And as always, joined by my co-host and producer extraordinaire, the man with the cleanest colon in podcasting, Mr.
Yes.
Gary McDaniel.
Bye.
Have a good night. Simon? Theodore?